The Standards Organization of Nigeria has expressed its continued commitment in the eradication of substandard products in the country. And one way to do this is to continue to buy made in Nigeria goods. The Director General of the agency, who was represented by the group head, Chemical Technology, Mr. Agbola Afolayan, was at a retreat in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, where he said Nigerians need to patronize what they make.
Quality as opposed to quantity is one of the primary responsibilities of the Standards Organization of Nigeria. The organization is in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, to raise further awareness on the need to ensure that only products that meet required standards find their way into the Nigerian markets.
You cannot control substandard products without standardization, and that is our primary responsibility. Without your product being standard, definitely it's going to be neglected, because the only way you can sustain your business is by creating the difference, and that difference is entrenchment of quality.
Members of the organized private sector appear to be on the same page with SON and are not unmindful of the implication of adulterated products, particularly on the health of the citizens.
You don't know what you benefit when you have the right lubricant in your vehicle. Because if you have the wrong type, you emit gaseous pollutants, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxide, etc., etc. And these are what? Inimical to health.
The take-home message for most participants is the need for constant monitoring of products by relevant agencies to ensure the country is rid of substandard products.
The federal government has read the Riot Act to the United Labour Congress, warning that it's against going any proposed industrial action. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, who issued the warning, described the union as illegal. This follows an ultimatum issued to the government by the ULC to address their demands, which include the reversal of the privatization of Power Holding Company and the payment of welfare packages to its members. The minister, however, insists that the union is not recognized by the government and any industrial action it embarks upon will amount to economic sabotage. We're now being joined from our Abuja studios by the president, the national president of the Joint Health Workers Union, Mr. Belemoye Josiah. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
The situation now is embarking on an indefinite strike on Monday, the 20th of September. What exactly? I mean, wouldn't this be one strike too many?
Thank you. I think if I get you all through, that Dr. Sadio strike suspended, and now we back coming and won't strike too many. Well, in this case, we are only resuming strike action that was suspended some time ago, since last year, all because the government treated our matters with triviality. And to crown it all, on the 11th, precisely on the 11th, we also notified government that these issues are still on the table. The nearest we got to getting some result was when late Ocholi was the Minister of State Labor. He made some trustable effort, but nature took him away. And since then, our issues have just been thrown to the background, and we've got nothing so good to really keep us. So on the 11th, we wrote to government that let these things be given the utmost attention so that we will not be drawn into resuming our strike action.
Mr. Josiah, now, before you came on, we read a story about the United Labour Congress threatening to go on strike, and the minister saying you're illegal, you're not recognized. I mean, this is just too much for the nation's economy. I mean, if you decide to go on strike, there are demands made by the doctors, and that includes funding for the health sector, increased funding for the health sector. Are your demands not covered in this demand as well?
Not at all. I would not say it is. But again, you can also see that the agreement reached does not include us, especially in the adjustment of salaries, which was approved for the doctors since 2014. Since 2014. And we've been saying our own structure is different. Their structure is different. They negotiated their structure We also negotiated our structure. Now, they were given. When it was time to give us ours, they now came up to say we should not be given. If we are given, then they will go on strike. And so the ministry, because it is heavily, top-laden by doctors, Minister of State doctor, until recently, Permanent Secretary doctor, so they took the decision to ignore our own side of the bargain. And I think that is what is culminating into these issues, as we are saying.
You're sounding as though you're being marginalized, but let's ask this. Is there any difference between your demands in 2014 and what you're demanding for in 2017?
Come again?
Are there any changes in your demands from 2014 and what you're demanding in 2017?
Things are evolving, especially with the discriminatory treatment that has been given. For instance, like we supported the government policy of corruption, anti-corruption, and the whistleblowing. And then, especially in FMC, but today as we speak, are people who embarked upon strike because there was corruption and they blew a genuine whistle for which they've never been tried because they blew the wrong whistle. But rather, the ministry decided to punish them by threatening them that if you don't stop, if you support this anti-corruption war, then by answering to the call of your union, you'll be denied promotion, you'll be denied salaries. And today, 4 months of their salaries are withheld, as well as promotions. And so their seniors, their juniors are now made their seniors, because those who adhered to the instruction from the ministry to drop
Let me just put this
very naked acts of corrupt issues. So,
okay, just before we go, we are asking to meet with specific members of the House of Representatives. Why is that so?
Like we said before, we are very mindful of the effect of strike on the people of Nigeria. Because when life is lost, it can't be returned. And that is why we've been patient from 2014 up to now as we're speaking. We have just embarked on one warning strike of 7 days. And that warning strike, we thought, would make the government to realize that we shouldn't go into this cycle again, that they would have come up with effort to make it. But you can just see the discriminatory aspect of it. Like I told you, 11th of August, we wrote to the government. No serious thing was done. And up till 14th, no serious thing was done. But after then, when the resident doctors put up something, you can see the speed at which everybody was running around to see that it is resolved. Even the central bank was opened where money was not.
Mr. Josiah, I wish we could.
In our case, they will tell you, oh, it is not in budget.
I wish we had more time, Mr. Josiah, but we would have to go right now, even though you didn't get to answer that question of why you're asking for specific members of the House of Representatives. Mr. Josiah Belebimoye is the president of the Joint Health Workers Union.